So I'm Jason, and you are at WordCamp Vienna 2025. Matt here from Automatic is going to make a presentation about wonderful tools for developers and also interrelating with the visitors and customers. And yeah, so thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Support people are an interesting breed. The number of user anger they convert into happiness on a daily basis can be amazing. So we're on the front lines of any issues of your products. We identify the friction points before they spread into something bigger. However, collaborating with the developers, it's not always as seamless as it should. So today I'm going to share with you some tips on how to better communicate, how implement proactive support measures, and how to roll out product changes that minimize user confusion and support interactions. A few words about me. My name is Maciej, but feel free to call me Matt. I love Iceland, as you can see, but I moved to Okinawa, which is like on the opposite direction. My WordPress journey began back in 2007 as a casual user, but things changed for me a lot in 2014 when I started getting involved in the WordPress community. My first major event was WordCamp Sofia 2014 when I was a volunteer, and that pretty much blew my mind, and I strongly encourage everyone to be active in the community. So I've worked in support for WordPress support specifically for over a decade. First, I was working for WPML, supporting the multilingual plugin. After that, I worked as a product evangelist for a Japanese company. And the past 9 years, I've been with Automatic working as a happiness engineer. So today, I'm gonna walk you through the gaps I see too often, the ones between developers and support teams, and suggest how those gaps can be closed to improve, in the end, the user experience, which is the most important. So why does this matter? Support teams are first to hear from the users what exactly is not working, and the users can be extremely vocal about the things that don't work. So whatever it's confusing user interface, broken features, or things that are not well documented, those are usually the main pain points. Unfortunately, this user feedback not often gets to the developers who actually can fix the root cause of the issues. So the result is unhappy users struggling, overwhelmed support, and devs surprised that some problems even exist, which should be avoided in the first place. So let's talk about some of the gaps that exist. Both of those teams, support and developers, have different priorities. Devs want to ship products and features, and support wants to fix the pain points of the users. Another reason is a possible language barrier. But by that, I mean like support speaks user language, and developers speak code and abstract concepts that are not always understood by everyone. Finally, there's a lack of visibility. The devs might not see the support tickets or hear user complaints about the recurring issues. So both devs live in their own bubbles, and they can sometimes be disconnected from each other. In the end, what matters most is a happy user using our software or products. Support has different perspective, which developers cannot get from bug trackers or GitHub issues. Support knows what users try to do versus what's actually possible. What are the users getting stuck with, and what the user misunderstands repeatedly about like a feature or the product. This data is pure gold, but only if it's converted into actual actionable items. The key actionable feedback cannot be vague. Does not work for me is something that like we need to convert into something usable, because that won't move providing the solution to the issue forward. We need to identify the exact steps to reproduce the issue and then transmit them over to the developers. Support can help you with grouping similar issues, highlighting frequency, severity, and priority of the issues. We can be a pretty good filter to extract all the problematic areas and provide context which lists exact steps to reproduce the issues. A great way to achieve those things is by creating workflows or reporting templates which will allow the problems to be reported in a unified and structured way. Support shouldn't just come after the product launch, after the feature is already live. It should be part of the early testing phases. The reason for that is that support can spot many user interface issues that might have been missed. They can flag features or onboarding steps that might be confusing for the users. And they can help with writing user-facing documentation, even if the product has not been launched. So the users, when the actual feature is launched, the users know where to look for help. There's one example that I remember very clear is a small thing, but it was very problematic for users. There was an icon in one of the navigation blocks that got moved into a drop list. And the goal of the developers for that was to make room for other features in the future. But at launch, none of the support was notified about that. There was no user-facing documentation. And the support actually got to know about this feature from users who were super angry, like, why did this move here? I need to do a couple of extra clicks to get to the function that I had it like in place before that. So this is something that you should avoid at any cost when deploying some changes. From the user perspective, the feature got hidden for no reason, and they needed additional clicks to achieve something. So your support should know the reasoning about those changes, because first thing user will ask you is why? Why did you do that? So if we have something to back up this change with, it completely changes the tone of the conversation with the users. To bridge the gap, we need some right tools and some habits. Some of those can be as simple as shared Slack tracks for feedback related to what's happening, weekly digest of most common issues, for example, via P2s. Automatic is a very heavy user of P2s for majority of our communication. Next, it's good to have a tagging system for highlighting feature-specific tickets, thanks to which developers can have a better idea in which direction they can grow the product. Again, it's great to have the workflows and bug templates, which can simplify the communication between support and developer teams, which will basically get the information to them the way they like. All of those, depending on your company working culture, can be non-formal, but it's very important to be consistent with those things. Remember that in the end, ultimately, the goal is to build empathy and effective collaboration. This can be done by, for example, job shadowing. By that I mean getting dev involved into some problematic tickets where they can see firsthand what did not go well, and support teams joining some of the dev calls so they can be involved in feature creation and sharing feedback at the early stages of creating a product or specific features. Need a second. Remember that it's very important to celebrate small or big wins. Bug fixes that reduce support load. Those are super great morale boosters for both of the teams and show how effective the collaboration can be between support and devs. Finally, treat support as your part of your life cycle, not just post-launch as the fixers that will get into take care of the users who started complaining about something when the feature or product got launched. This kind of culture, this approach will benefit everyone. So the key takeaways from today's presentation I would like everyone to have is treat support as your early warning system. Support and devs should work together smarter, not harder. The goal is better user experience and focus on creating effective channels for communication. Communicate as much as you need. Remember that communication is oxygen and it drives the positive changes. Support is not there to fix the problems, but we are also to help you prevent them. So that's all I wanted to share with you today. If you have any questions about WordPress, support Japan, or anything else, feel free to ask me or come to the Automatic booth later after the talk.
Any questions? I have an experience.
Okay.
Quite often when I contact support's trying to solve my problem.
Mm-hmm.
But I quite often am trying to actually reach the devs with a bug.
Okay.
And so it is quite it's like on a TV show where there's the fourth wall where the actor stares directly into the camera.
Mm-hmm.
It's like breaking the fourth wall. So it's really a funny thing. Quite often now I try to find out, is it a bug? And can I possibly go through the support so that they could pass it along? And then let the support folks know, hey, I'm good. Just pass it along to your development team.
So the approach that we have if you contact us through, for example, live chat support, is that we will get from you as many details as possible. All the pain points, what is not working, how to reproduce the issue, or whatever the problem is. And then we're transferring that to our developer teams. And those teams will get back to you with details, and you will continue communicating with them. Yeah, but we're like the first filter to get all the information.
I think my experience is actually shaped from participating in the FreeBSD project for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
And FreeBSD is known as a very cryptic Unix operating system. And that there really isn't a support channel,
Yeah,
except on IRC.
Yeah.
And so I'm already oriented towards, filing bugs that a particular third-party software port is not compiling, for example.
Yeah.
And so, it quite often it helps a lot when I let the support team know that I'm good. I don't need a solution.
Yeah.
I have a workaround, and quite often I'm really good at finding workarounds. But for normal users, for example, my mom, that might not be suitable.
Yeah.
So in a lot of cases, I think one of the things I always found interesting is the support team even having access to the development team? Do they?
Oh yeah, we communicate very often. Like I've mentioned in the presentation, on a weekly basis, we list the majority of the pain points that happened, and also the developer teams inform us like what are the upcoming changes, what are the plans for the future. So if, for example, the feature that you're looking to have is missing right now, we're already aware that this will be coming soon, or there's a timeline for that, so we can let you know in advance about that.
Wonderful. Well, any last minute questions? Yes, we have one. Okay.
Not a question, but I encounter the same situation as you quite often, that I'm finding a bug, and I just, like, for your information, there's a bug in your system.
Yeah.
This is all steps to reproduce, and then hitting a dead wall. And it's hard to find support members or support employees that can filter out these things.
Yeah, so the workflow that we have is whenever, so I get information from you that there's a bug. The first step I will do is try to reproduce it on my side. And as soon as I do that, I file a bug report and notify immediately developers teams where they can look, verify on their side, and then you as the person who reported that issue, they will get back to you with an update. What's the process? Will the problem be fixed with the next release? Is it some sort of team issue? Or like we won't let you there hanging without any answer, which is super frustrating for many users, and I completely understand that. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I have like files already, like sometimes the plugins are not like open, so I cannot create a PR.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I can sometimes create a PR, and you always hit the first level support. I think sometimes you need to have like a
second tier support. So we specifically for WordPress.com, you can mark yourself as a developer, and when you contact us, we already know that you have a different level of knowledge, and then the way how we approach you will be completely different from handling any basic user. So that like removes this step of like basic troubleshooting that every user would get.
Okay, wonderful, Matt. This is from gratitude from the WordCamp Vienna team, organizer team, and thank all of you for your attendance.
Yes.
What is not mentioned on the printed materials is that I guess in the aula, is it there? Wait a minute. You announced the talk in the aula before the next talk starts. Is missing from the print material. That's a little complicated. In any case, there's some things happening. We're having another in C1 right now, which will be the closing ceremony, and maybe then they'll pass along this information about the yikes. Yeah, I'm just getting this on WhatsApp.
Anyway, thanks a lot for having me. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks a lot, everyone.